Welcome, and thanks for joining us on today's deep dive. We are jumping straight into a massive paradigm shift today, exploring the 2015 book Bit by Bit, How P2P is Freeing the World by Jeffrey Tucker, featuring an introduction by Patrick Byrne. Our mission is to unpack how peer-to-peer technology is silently erasing the middleman and, placing power directly into your
Yeah,
hands.
we're really looking at a complete restructuring of how society operates. When you take those centralized institutions out of the equation, people are suddenly free to coordinate and exchange entirely on their own terms.
Right. Okay, let's unpack this. We see this shift massively in the app economy. Platforms we use every day have totally transformed who gets to be a producer or a consumer.
Exactly. You don't have to wait for a corporate gatekeeper to hire you or approve your business model anymore.
Right, you just hop on a platform and instantly monetize your spare time or, an empty room.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, Tucker calls this state of affairs equipotency.
Equipotency, right.
Yeah, it basically means the playing field isn't just leveled, the gatekeepers have been entirely removed from the field. And it's incredibly disruptive to the old guard. Look at established monopolies, like municipal taxi
Oh
services.
yeah, they actively lobby governments to crack down on these apps.
Because this kind of decentralized tech bypasses those state-managed corporate structures. It shifts the speculative risk, sure, but also the direct financial reward straight to the everyday workers.
Now, that shift of power in the gig economy is huge, but it still relies on corporate apps acting as the platform. What happens when you remove the central platform entirely? Here's where it gets really interesting, because we have to talk about cryptocurrency.
The ultimate decentralization.
Exactly. Tucker shares this incredible story about Fareshta Foro, who set up coding clinics for women in Afghanistan. Due to legal and cultural barriers, these women were completely shut out of traditional banking.
They could learn to code, but they literally couldn't get paid.
Right. So she introduced them to Bitcoin. Suddenly, they could monetize their tech skills on a global market and gain instant financial independence without needing anyone's permission.
Which is just incredible.
It really is. But how does the tech actually make that possible without a bank?
Well, what's fascinating here is Bitcoin isn't just digital money. It uniquely unites a currency with a payment network via the blockchain.
The distributed ledger.
Right. The genius of that distributed public ledger is that it finally solves what computer scientists call the Byzantine generals problem.
Which is basically the historical challenge of trying to get decentralized parties to coordinate and trust each other without a central command node, right?
Exactly. The blockchain solves this by mathematically verifying transactions across a network. It allows anyone to securely transfer property titles or money across the globe without ever needing a trusted third party to rubber stamp it.
Tucker takes this exact concept into some highly controversial territory. And just to be clear, we are purely exploring his arguments here, not taking a stance. But he looks at the Silk Road.
The dark web market.
Yeah, the illicit market that governments eventually shut down. But Tucker argues it actually solved a massive problem. By moving the drug trade online, the Silk Road essentially removed physical violence from the equation.
Replacing dangerous street cartels with peaceful, review-based online transactions.
Right. But how does Tucker tie a black market back to his broader view of human connection?
So, what does this all mean? He connects it to a broader philosophy about human exchange, arguing that capitalism and commercial exchange are fundamentally rooted in love.
Love. Like romantic love.
No, specifically storage, which is a type of natural affection or empathy. Even in a completely unregulated space, peer-to-peer transactions still rely heavily on mutual trust, voluntary cooperation, and the shared goal of both parties walking away better off.
Making commerce an act of peaceful affection between individuals.
Precisely.
That is a profound way to look at something as mundane as buying a cup of coffee or hailing a ride. What stands out to you? Next time you are out, think about how many of your daily transactions still rely on a third-party intermediary, like a credit card company, a bank, or a regulatory agency looking over your shoulder.
This raises an important question. If peer-to-peer technology and the blockchain can successfully decentralize our money, our transportation, and our legal contracts, how long will it be until we see this exact same technology used to decentralize voting and national elections?